We've ranked 10 destinations you can actually visit, places where the mystery hasn't been solved and the records still don't add up. From lakes that calcify anything they touch to abandoned cities concealing classified secrets, each stop on this countdown carries questions experts still can't answer. The deeper we go, the darker it gets. Starting at number 10, a blood-red lake in East Africa where the water itself seems cursed. In the 10th place, Lake Natron in northern Tanzania presents a landscape that seems almost otherworldly. The water glows red under the sun, its surface so alkaline, reaching a pH of 10.5, that it can burn human skin. Local Maasai legends warn against approaching the shore, calling it cursed, and for good reason. Wildlife that strays too close is often found calcified, transformed into eerie, stone-like figures by the lake's caustic chemistry. During the dry season, thousands of lesser flamingos gather here to breed, their nests perched just beyond the reach of the deadly brine. Travelers can reach Lake Natron by a rugged 4x4 from Arusha, best attempted in the cooler months between June and September. Visitor access is strictly controlled, and guides enforce rules to keep people on marked paths away from the water's edge. While the science behind the lake's petrifying effect is clear, rumors of supernatural danger persist, fueled by the stark visuals and the silence that hangs over the blood-red flats. Number 9. Bodie, California stands as a monument to the gold rush's fever and its sudden collapse. Perched at 2,550 meters in the high desert east of the Sierra Nevada, Bodie once swelled to nearly 10,000 residents in 1879. Its main street lined with saloons, gambling halls, and a bustling bank whose rusted vault still anchors the town. The fire of 1902 gutted much of the business district, accelerating Bodie's slide into abandonment. Today, visitors reach the site via Highway 395, with the last stretch open from May through October, weather permitting. California State Parks enforces strict preservation rules. No collecting, no entry into unstable buildings, and a leave-it-as-you-found-it ethic. The graveyard's faded headstones and the silent row of storefronts evoke a place paused at the threshold of prosperity and ruin, leaving behind a shell that resists both decay and easy explanation. Bodie's mystery lingers not in ghost stories, but in the sense of a town frozen mid-exodus, its secrets sealed beneath the desert dust. 8th place. Aokigahara Forest stretches across the lava fields at the base of Mount Fuji, its dense canopy muffling sound and swallowing sunlight. The forest's reputation is shaped by tragedy and folklore. Official police logs from Yamanashi Prefecture confirm dozens of suicides each year, though the highest figures often cited in media remain unverified. Trails wind past moss-draped trees and volcanic caves like the Narusawa Ice Cave, but visitors are warned to stay on marked paths because the uneven ground and thick undergrowth can quickly disorient even experienced hikers. Signage posted by police and suicide prevention groups lines the main entrances, urging those in distress to seek help. Legends of Yuri, restless spirits, add a layer of unease, while stories of malfunctioning compasses persist despite scientific studies showing no true magnetic anomaly. The forest can be reached by bus from Kawaguchiko, with safety stations and ranger patrols reinforcing a message of caution and respect. The silence here is profound, broken only by the crunch of footsteps. It is a living landscape haunted by loss and unanswered questions. Number 7. Anjikuni Lake lies deep in the Nunavut tundra, accessible only by charter plane or snowmobile when the weather allows. The landscape is stark, with windswept water, scattered hunting cabins, and the endless silence of the Arctic. In 1930, a Vancouver Star report described an entire Inuit village vanishing overnight. A tale that would later surface in an RCMP case file labeled RCMP 1930057. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police investigated, closing the file with a no-evidence verdict on September 3rd, but the original documents remain elusive, fueling decades of speculation. Oral histories from Inuit elders, preserved at Nunavut Arctic College, recall the lake as a place of caution and respect, but offer no definitive answers. Travelers today can visit the site by arranging passage with local pilots and, with permission, consult with community elders in Baker Lake. The story of Anjikuni is shaped as much by archival gaps as by the vast, isolating geography, a mystery that endures not just in legend, but in the persistent absence of proof. Number 6. Centralia, Pennsylvania, is a town erased by fire, yet kept alive by myth. In 1962, a coal seam beneath the town caught fire. The accident is documented in Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection files, and the fire reached temperatures up to 540 degrees Celsius. The blaze crept unseen below homes and streets, releasing carbon monoxide and causing the ground to buckle and collapse. By the 1980s, the federal government condemned the town. The population plummeted from over 1,000 to just a handful of residents. Today, visitors detour off Route 61 to find steaming vents rising from cracked asphalt, graffiti-covered highways, and silent, grass-choked streets where houses once stood. Official signs warn of invisible dangers, sudden sinkholes, toxic gases, and restricted zones. Yet, the spectacle of smoke wafting from the earth has inspired tales of a portal to hell, stories of vanishings, and folklore that blurs hazard with the supernatural. Centralia's mystery is not in the cause, which is thoroughly chronicled by state and federal investigations, but in how a real, ongoing disaster became a legend that draws travelers to a condemned American ghost town. In the 5th place, the Flannan Isles Lighthouse stands on a wind-battered rock off Scotland's Outer Hebrides, a lone tower guarding the edge of the Atlantic. The story that draws travelers here is the 1900 disappearance of its 3 keepers, James Ducat, Thomas Marshall, and Donald MacArthur, who vanished without a trace during a brutal winter storm. The last logbook entry, dated December 15th, notes a strong wind rising, but when the supply ship Hesperus arrived 11 days later, the lighthouse was silent. Inside, investigators found an overturned chair, missing oilskins and untouched meals. The Northern Lighthouse Board's inquiry left gaps. No signs of struggle, no bodies, only the relentless sea. Today, visitors can glimpse the lighthouse by charter boat from Lewis, but landings depend on calm weather and a rare permit. Those who make it ashore find the tower intact, the landing jetty slick with spray, and the unanswered question echoing in the roar of the surf. What force claimed the keepers, leaving only their absence behind? Number 4. Dyatlov Pass lies deep in Russia's Ural Mountains, a place where the landscape itself seems to guard its secrets. In February 1959, 9 experienced hikers perished here under circumstances that still defy a single, satisfying explanation. Their tent was found ripped open from the inside. Some bodies were barefoot in the snow, while others had injuries more commonly seen in car accidents, including fractured skulls, crushed ribs, and in one case a missing tongue. The official Soviet report named the cause only as an unknown compelling force. Avalanche theory now holds sway, supported by a snow mechanics study published in 2019. Yet the pattern of injuries and forensic contradictions keep the debate alive. Portions of the case file remain classified, fueling rumors of military involvement and stranger possibilities. Travelers today can reach the memorial cairn at the pass by snowmobile from Ivdel, braving temperatures that plunge below -30. The hike itself is treacherous, with avalanche risk and the sheer remoteness demanding careful planning. At the treeline camp, the silence is profound, broken only by the wind. It is a reminder that some mysteries, despite decades of investigation, remain embedded in the snow. Coming to the top 3, Poveglia Island looms off the Venetian lagoon, its silhouette marked by a collapsing bell tower and the shell of a hospital overtaken by weeds. For centuries, this small patch of land was the final stop for the sick and the unwanted. First as a quarantine station, then as an asylum. The 1799 Gazzetta di Venezia recorded the arrival of plague ships, but the true scale of the island's role as a mass quarantine site is shrouded in missing records and fragmented death registers, especially for the 1918 influenza wave. Local lore speaks of plague pits and restless spirits, yet archival files from the Venetian Fondo Sanita and asylum staff tapes at the University of Padua reveal a more complex, often bureaucratic neglect. Today, the island is officially closed. Auction attempts in 2014 failed, and access is granted only to researchers with special permits. Visitors who glimpse Poveglia from passing boats see only the outer decay, but the deeper mystery lies in the silence of its records and the ethical weight of thousands buried without names. Number 2. Hashima Island, better known as Gunkanjima or Battleship Island, rises from the sea off Nagasaki as a fortress of concrete and rust. At just 0.16 square kilometers, it once packed over 5,300 people into a labyrinth of apartment blocks, making it the most densely populated place on Earth in 1959. The island's dramatic silhouette, with its seawall and skeletal high-rises, draws travelers by boat from Nagasaki, though access is limited to approved tours that skirt the unstable ruins. What visitors see today is only the surface of a deeper mystery. Mitsubishi's closure order in 1974 triggered a swift evacuation, leaving behind sealed ledgers and corporate archives that have never been fully opened to the public. Oral histories from former workers hint at forced labor during the war years, but the full record remains locked in company files and government reports. Even after its brief UNESCO listing, questions linger about what happened inside those walls and why so much remains unspoken. The tension between industrial spectacle and hidden human cost gives Hashima its uneasy power, a place where the silence of abandoned stairwells is matched only by the silence of the archives. And finally, in first place, Pripyat stands as a city frozen by disaster and secrecy. On April 27, 1986, Soviet authorities waited 36 hours after the Chernobyl reactor explosion before issuing a sudden evacuation order. Over 1,200 buses arrived that afternoon, removing nearly 49,000 residents in a matter of hours. Today, Pripyat remains locked in a Soviet time capsule. The rusted Ferris wheel, abandoned kindergarten toys, and the Palace of Culture's shattered windows all bear silent witness to lives interrupted. Legal tours depart from Kyiv, passing through the Dytiatki checkpoint with licensed guides and dosimetry controls. Visitors can explore the city's haunting landmarks for up to 8 hours, a journey that delivers a radiation dose similar to a short commercial flight. Declassified Politburo minutes and survivor interviews reveal the depth of official secrecy and the personal toll of evacuation. Pripyat's mystery endures in its empty streets, its preserved decay, and the ethical questions that linger over dark tourism in a place shaped by tragedy and silence. Across all 10 destinations, one pattern remains. Mystery endures where evidence fails, and legends grow. These places are proof that some shadows refuse to lift, no matter how closely we look. In the world's strangest corners, the unknown is never far from those who seek it.